Hey everybody, welcome back for an update on Griffey the Calypso Fox. Yesterday we traveled to Union Grove, Wisconsin in the legendary Great Lakes Dragaway. This track has an abundance of history as it is the oldest continuously operated drag strip and is open 6 days a week from early spring until the winter season when the snow flies. Yesterday was the second race in the Wisconsin Outlaw Street series that Steve Roden has created and is putting the events on. The weather was forecasted and turned out to be extremely warm, and all the racers and the promoter decided to delay the start of the event from 2 p.m. until 5 p.m. to help with track conditions. The temperature was forecasted to fall pretty quickly in the late afternoon, which would hopefully allow for better racing and faster passes as traction would become better as the day went on. Pass number one, we had a little bit too hot of a tune-up on the launch for the track conditions. We still didn't have the prep that was needed in order to hold the power based off the weather conditions. We knocked the tire off a little bit into the run, and traction control played around a little bit, as well as we were down on some power down track, but we were hoping that the track would get better as the night went on. We made a few changes to the car, and about an hour later we went up for qualifying round number 2. Qualifying round number 2 was significantly better than the first round. The car launched and the wheels carried out for about a second and a half before they set back down, and the car just drove straight down Broadway without any issues. With the 463 pass that we just made, we were able to become the number 1 qualifier going into the elimination rounds. Round number 1, we actually got a competition bye, which allowed for us just to take another swing at the racetrack. We knew that the bump spot was going to be a 456, where we wouldn't be able to go faster than that in eliminations. So we just wanted to try to creep up on that to know what the tune-up would do and where our limitations were for the 456 number.
We've already
Elimination round one's pass was basically the same pass that we had made during qualification round number 2. In round number 2 of eliminations, we had the Windsor Brothers supercharged Trans Am. Into elimination round number 2, we felt like we had some momentum going on our side. The car seemed to be really consistent and going down, but that quickly came to an end. As the car was in the burnout box, and as I was rolling out of it, it just didn't seem like it had all the power available that it typically would. This became extremely apparent when I was sitting on the two-step attempting to build boost, but it never ended up making positive pressure. So I rolled into the beams, and the only thing that we could hope for is potentially a red light from our competitor, which he went green and made a nice clean pass. After the pass, we had stopped by and congratulated those guys on their win and told them good luck. And the Windsor Brothers eventually went on to win the event, so congratulations to those guys on a great outing, as well as on a very... We got back to the pits and had to look into what our issue was during that pass where it wouldn't make boost. And the first thing that we had noticed, we knew that it was going to be something associated with the piping, most likely, seeing the fact that it wasn't making any pressure. And noticed that there was the clamp that connects to the throttle body was off, and there was a boost leak there. The clamp is a Race Part Solutions clamp, and what ended up happening, the pin was missing that holds that connected, and without that pin in there, it separated and eventually moved around. We don't know if the pin had broke or vibrated loose out of there, but either way, it results in an unfortunate parts failure and a loss because of that. As of right now, we just switch methods for keeping the clamp closed and secured. I haven't decided if I'm going to look at alternative products or not. There's a couple products on the market that I think are a better patent to help avoid this in the future because they just seem to pop up at the worst of times. I want to give a huge shout out to Alan Smith with Mr. Fabulous Photography for all these awesome shots that were taken at the racetrack yesterday. I also want to thank Steve Roden with Legend Racing for putting this little series of races together. It really changes up some of the racing dynamics that we have up here in the Midwest and keeping some of the clocks on, which makes it entertaining for the fans, as well as trying to race on a little bit better of a surface as well. Also, a huge shout out to Richie for helping me out with some lining up and starting line support help. He definitely had me in the proper places all day to send me straight down the racetrack and finding the sweet spot where I could get plenty of traction. And last but not least, thank you to Kyle Mackey for grabbing some starting line videos that I was able to incorporate into my YouTube video here. Next weekend, I believe we are going to head out to Grove Creek Raceway to do some testing for the upcoming Cache at the Creek race. The Cache at the Creek race is June 24th, and it's a Saturday evening race up there, and we'd like to get a few test hits in just to see if we can get dialed in on a tune-up for that race. And then in between these 2 weekends, we are anticipating being up at Brainerd Raceway for the Street Outlaws No Prep Kings race. So we got plenty more coming up throughout the year, as long as we don't run into any significant parts failures, and we should be back soon.